Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are listening to the Mara Mukunda show on Islam Media, and we are also live on Facebook. Thank you for joining me. It is the Wednesday edition, and it is the 17th of June 2020. Thank you for joining me wherever you are around the world. It is a pleasure to have you, and thank you for choosing Salam Media as your broadcaster of choice. So, coming up on the show today, I'm going to be chatting to Fatima Mudowe, who is a doula, and we're going to be talking about postnatal depression in dads. That will be coming up shortly. I'll also be chatting to Anisa Kathrada, who is a fitness trainer, to give us some tips on how to stay active and fit in winter. Later on, I chat to Sister Mehnemia Kasimji on this week's Empowered segment. And we end off the show with counselor from Islamic Careline, Anisa Musa, who will be talking to us a little bit more about death and mourning, the processes in the times of the COVID-19 pandemic, how to mourn, we can't really say get over it because it's just something that happens. A death is promised to everyone and we are all going to experience death, but how can we mourn our loved ones? How can we grieve for them during this period? There's so much loss that is going on. People are losing jobs or homes, family, friends, everything people are losing because of this pandemic. So we're going to be chatting to Anisa Musa to give us advice a little later on. If you have any comments, queries, questions, or suggestions, you can send them to us on WhatsApp. The number is 0617660355. Alternatively, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And let us see if Fatima is on the line to chat about postnatal depression in dads. And remember, if you are a dad who has experienced PND or you know of someone who has experienced PND, do comment and let us know how you got through it. Or where did you get the help? Was it a collective? You joined a support group for other dads with PND? Yeah, we'd like to know all of that. Okay, while Fatima is still while we're still waiting for Fatima to join me on the line, yes, do send us your comments or questions about that topic of PND, that's postnatal depression in dads. It's something that is so common with women. In fact, many women experience PND after giving birth, and we don't realize that men also experience it. But the thing is, how do we recognize it in men? Like as a partner, how do you recognize it, and how do you help them? And well, you should also play your part as a partner because it's a joint it's a joint thing. You came together to have a child, and now one of or both of the partners are suffering from PND. So how can we get the help? Okay, Fatima, are you on the line? Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Can you see me?
Just tilt your camera a bit because I'm seeing only part of you.
Okay.
Okay, now now I'm seeing you the other way.
Okay, wait. Just hold on.
Okay. All right, we'll give Fatima a moment to just organize herself properly. Okay, that's a bit better. But can you make your camera central?
uh, okay, can you just give me a bit of, okay, is it better now?
All right, okay, we can see you. Let us continue. So, Assalamu alaikum, shukran for joining me.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Thank you for having me.
Alhamdulillah, it's a pleasure. So let's start off by telling us what is postnatal depression.
Okay. Postnatal depression is a type of depression that some women go through after they give birth, after childbirth. It might be impacted by a lot of factors, whether you have a positive birthing experience. Um, some women just go through the baby blues after they give birth. This baby blues just lasts about 2 weeks, and some people have go through major, severe postnatal depression. And this can also rub on, like how you say that it affects fathers as well. This can rub on onto the fathers as well. Because research has shown that about 40 to 25% of men actually go through postnatal depression as well. This is also it's indirectly linked, especially indirectly linked. If a woman is experiencing PND as well, postnatal depression, so it rubs onto the father as well.
Wow.
Yes.
So it can be that it is possible for both partners to have PND. So how do we recognize it amongst men?
I think because society has conditioned men not to actually speak about their feelings or their emotions. Um, because when a woman gives birth, it's an overwhelming experience. It's an overwhelming experience for the woman as it is for the man. Sometimes just that overwhelming feeling of in men stress, financial stress. Also navigating around. There's a new person in the house, a new baby in the house. Uh, the lack of support around the community, maybe a lack of support with your in-laws or your mom and dad, or also no communication between the mom and dad as well. So this can come out in the men as well, like that.
And how does it affect the men? Because I mean, society has conditioned men to be, all macho, don't talk about your feelings, men don't get depression, real men don't cry, etc. So, how does it affect men? Excuse me.
Mostly the symptoms that men can go through. For the men, like they are persistently sad. They are sad. Feeling of hopelessness, like maybe you can't. A man is feeling like he can't provide for his family. The feelings of having a new, like especially for new dads, if you're first time dad, to navigate around this whole parenting thing. Um, Change in sleep, the sleep patterns and appetite, because we do know when there's a new child in the house, a new baby, the sleep pattern of the mother changes. The baby is always constantly crying. And this can also, if you don't have a supportive partner, for example, as a mom, if you don't have a supportive partner, that's why it's very important for the men and women to communicate when the baby is there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have decreased interest in activities that you normally do, loss of energy, and sometimes because postnatal depression, severe postnatal depression in women, sometimes women have suicidal thoughts about um, doing harm to the baby. You won't be able to be bonding with the baby as well if you're feeling if you're feeling PND, if the man is feeling it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. What can I? Okay.
All right. So, if both partners have PND, I mean, how can they help one another to overcome it?
Okay. Um, in all relationships, as we say, communication, communication, communication. Um, as a man, if you're if for example, like how I say that it's indirectly, if the woman has PND, the man will indirectly also get those feelings. So you can have your primary health caregivers can be there. You can speak to them, saying that this is how you guys are feeling. In our communities, we have people like doulas, people like nurses that come forward, um, not in the medical, not in medical intervention, but emotionally supporting the parents, giving them techniques to know that this is how you are going to navigate through this depression. Bonding, um, bonding session with your being a supportive with your woman, with the mother of the child, talking about how you are feeling. Doulas can also, for example, doulas can also navigate around how are you feeling, why are you feeling it. For example, when a woman doesn't have a very positive birth experience. For example, her labor was very intense or something traumatic happened in labor. They can also cause feelings of estrangement towards your partner. So maybe doulas and other healthcare workers, if it's not a medical intervention where it's a severe postnatal depression, they can help in communicating and supporting each other during those months of depression.
Mhm. Okay, so is it possible to get PND like 5 or 6 months after the birth of the baby, or does it come immediately?
No, very, very possible because normally baby blues, for example, for women, the baby blues, let's say minor PND, the baby blues last about 2 weeks. Um, Severe PND can sometimes show later. If it doesn't go up to 6 months, that means you are like clinically depressed.
Hmm.
So sometimes it goes up to 6 months, sometimes for a year. If it's not treated immediately, if you do not recognize that you do have PND immediately, it can prolong the process of getting a diagnosis or getting help.
Mhm. All right. So, where can we get help?
Where can you get help? First of all, you have to admit that you're not coping. For example, with dad, um, you need to have a support system. If it's either you don't speak to your partner about it, you find a primary health care giver, for example, your doctor, uh, for example, your nurses, your community nurses, and your doulas. If you have a doula that you have there, so that they can help you to it. Uh, Severe PMD, there's always the South African anxiety, the South African
Depression and
depression
anxiety.
anxiety group, yes,
Hmm.
that you can contact as well. And also just to have, maybe also you have to a community of supportive dads where you guys speak about it.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's where you can get
But
help.
are there such support structures for fathers in place? Because, I mean, as you've mentioned earlier, that it's so difficult for men to get the support system because society has made it seem that men don't get depression, men not supposed to talk about their feelings. So, are there such support groups for them?
I think there is, for example, the South African depression and anxiety. There are supportive groups around. It's just that if you want help, if you diagnose yourself and you want help, you are going to go and find that help. Um, and also, men generally don't. So that's why we can say that there are support groups out there, but do they know about it? That's why I'm always saying that you must always be in communication with your partner, always be vocal about how you're feeling and why do you think you're feeling it, so that we can get help from that. Yes. Um, the doctors are around, the nurses are around, the doulas are around as well. I'm a doula myself, so we always, when we do have labor support, and during when the partner is there, we do try to tell the partners that this is not only a mothering is not only for the mother alone.
Hmm.
It's a big change for both the parents. So if you support each other, um, yeah, then everything is positive from there. Yeah.
Hmm. All right. And does PND affect a couple or the individual in the long term?
If it's not treated or if it's not diagnosed, obviously in the long run, it does fall under mental health. So in the long run, yes, um, a father can become very aggressive, you know, for example, or in most men, we see cases where when a child is born and there's no support from anyone, you see that the man withdraws himself from the family. He comes late from work. He's not bonding with the child. Even with the mother, he's not bonding, and then the man is starting to say that no, my partner doesn't have time for me. So these are also, these are also signs of postnatal depression. So in the long run, it might affect the relationship. It might affect the relationship between you and your partner. It might affect the relationship between you and your child as well. So the sooner that you get diagnosed, the better. The sooner that you recognize that you do have a problem, the better.
Hmm. Okay, but what about in instances where the couple doesn't really stay together? So how does it work then, and how do you recognize the P&D in your partner in order to help them out?
Um, know your partner. Um, if for you as a woman as well, if you are going through PND, obviously it's going to be more difficult for you to recognize that your partner does have PND as well. So that's why I'm saying that other interventions, such as your community, your doulas that are there, they can also help you. They can check up. You don't only check up on the mom, you also check up on the dad as well. Okay. Just being verbal, just being able, that a safe space to say that I am able to communicate how I'm feeling, and you can also recognize that you are feeling this because of this. You are feeling this because giving birth is a big life changing experience for the woman and for the man. We mostly think about, yeah, the woman goes through all these hormonal changes, like how we always say PND mostly affects women, but we normally don't speak about it being affecting, but it does affect men in the long run. Just looking at it now, a man, when the baby is born, he's staying away from home. He's doing long hours because he can't he doesn't know what he doesn't know how to navigate those, to speak about those feelings that he's actually having
All
towards
right.
this new situation that they.
Hmm. Okay, so you are a doula. How can people get hold of you should they need more information, emotional support, P&D support, etc.?
Okay. I'm registered under WOMS Doulas, WOMDS Doulas. Um, we do uh, postpartum visits to home. We do birthing labor support as well, and we also do bereavement if anything happens during the childbirth. You can contact me on the WOMS website, www.wombs.co.za, or my personal details as Dula Fatima 073 512 948. I'm more than happy, yeah, to offer my services.
All right. Shukran so much for your time, Dula Fatuma, and take care. And thank you for the advice. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah for having me.
That was Fatuma Mulowe. She is a doula giving us tips on postnatal depression in dads, saying that it dads can get PND. So if you know of a dad who does have PND, do offer your support. If you need professional support, like support from doulas, then you can contact wombsdoulas.co.za, and you will get a doula there. There's a lot of doulas available. So one of them will be there to offer you the support that you need, especially when it comes to PND, and recognize it. If you have it, if you've recognized it, admit it. Admit that you have a problem and you need help, because that is the first step to getting the help that you need. And if your partner has it, if you can recognize it, then help your partner by all means. Try whatever you can do to help your partner. And if you have any comments, queries, questions, or suggestions, you can leave them in the comments section, or you can send them to our WhatsApp line on 0617660355. Just stay with us. We'll be back after the break.